Big Questions with the Dead Milkmen.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Big Questions. Today's question: what is your favorite game to play, and what do you enjoy about it? Is it bingo, Monopoly, cornhole, a video game like Doom, or...
Don't go there.
Mary, I'll tell you what my favorite game is to play. It's a card game. It's called Wizard, the ultimate game of Trump. Have you played it?
I have not.
You play it with a special deck. It's like a normal deck, a 52 card deck, except it has 8 more cards. The extra 8 cards are 4 wizard cards and 4 jester cards. And the object of the game is to take tricks. It's a game that you play in rounds. You need 3 to 6 players. And the number of rounds is determined in this game by the number of players. There are 60 cards. You play out every single card. You start with 1 card each for each player. Then the next round is 2 cards each. So you'll have, with 6 players, 10 rounds. If you only play with 3 players, you'll have 20 rounds. You score points by first, before the play begins, once all the cards are dealt, to bid or guess the number of tricks that you're going to take. If you guess correctly, you get 20 points plus 10 points for every trick that you take. If you guess incorrectly, you lose 10 points for every trick that you are over or under what you predicted, what your bid was. And that's basically how you play it. Trump comes into the play because in almost every round, 1 card is turned up after all the cards are dealt, and that card's suit is Trump. When you play that you're trumping, you're taking the trick basically, unless somebody over trumps you, and you take tricks by ace is highest, king is next highest, and on down to 2 is the lowest, and you have to follow suit. That's the basic rules. What I like about this game, what I enjoy about it, is that besides the camaraderie you can have with the people you play with, it's a mixture of luck, the luck of the draw, and strategy. And it's actually turns out to be more strategy and bluffing sometimes than luck. And there's the unpredictability of how other people will play and bid. And I've been playing it for over a dozen years, and I enjoy it. Now let's go to Dan.
I had to give this some thought because haven't played board games that much lately, but used to a lot with the kids. But one that I did get into recently, which I liked when I was younger too, was Risk. And I get maybe a little too involved into it. Like I become like a fascist dictator or like an extreme pacifist, and I just end up having like 5 of those like artillery tank like cannons like in an entire, like just in the Australian continent. And then try to like I mess with the other people, like I'll even do voices and stuff with it. I also like Scrabble, but then I saw that Rodney asked if video game was an option, and I thought, ooh, my favorite video game is Mario Kart on the Wii, the original Wii. Why? Just because it's awesome, and I didn't like the one that came out after it because it was like you go upside down and stuff. I was like, I don't need that. But Donkey Kong on the standard bike. And when we got that for the kids, they were pretty little, but like Chrissy and I would stay up late after the kids went to bed, and like sometimes I'd stay up even later. I'm like trying to open new cups and stuff and try to get it 3 stars. And still to this day, I can annihilate the kids in only Mario Kart Wii. I'm terrible at the newer ones, especially the levels they just released, which was like a ninja hideaway and stuff.
What's the object of Mario Kart? I know Mario Brothers.
You
Normal
and a cast of characters, including some of the villains, are racing in very like surrealistic kind of tracks in the newer ones anyway. And you get a variety of weapons or power-ups. The ultimate weapon, I guess, is a blue shell, because whoever's in first will get hit with it and there's nothing you can do to avoid getting hit by it. And there's other shells that you throw, and one of them, like the red one, will hone in on the person and hit them. The green one's just arbitrary. But yeah, it's fun. That's all.
Okay, sounds cool. Yeah, Victor was into Mario when he was younger. I have two that I will mention. One is Scrabble. Dan, you touched on Scrabble. Melissa and I, my wife and I, like to play Scrabble. For a while, we were playing a game on our phones, and Joe, maybe you were too. I don't know if you still are. There was a game called Words with Friends that we would play that was very similar to Scrabble. But I ended up hating that game because they just turned it into gamification and earning coins and all this bullshit. So I deleted it from my phone. I don't play it anymore. But we still like to play Scrabble. I mean, the classic Scrabble game is still one of our favorites around here. In fact, we're going on a little vacation soon, and we have a travel Scrabble game that we're going to take with us. But the other game that I would like to mention is one that that my Italian side of the family started playing. Well, my father's played it since he was younger, and his family played it. It's an Italian card game called Briscola, and it's played with 40 cards. You can actually take a regular deck of cards and you can turn it into a Briscola deck. But I actually bought a deck online, and you can find them out there online. It's 40 cards, which contain 4 suits of coins, swords, cups, and clubs. And that might sound a little familiar to some of you if you are practicing the tarot. It's actually a subset of the tarot deck, which is very interesting. I didn't realize it until after I got into the game. You basically, it's like a trump game, like Joe's game. It's a trump game. You get points for winning hands. You play with partners. I don't know, Joe, does your game play with partners? Or you?
No,
yeah.
It's not a partner game.
Right. This is played with a partner. You can play 2 players, 4 players, or 6 players. If you play 6 players, then there's 3 people to a team. And to win the game, you have to get 61 points. Based on the number of cards, the reason I like it is like you can work out little hand signals and little cheat things with your partner, because it makes sense when you're playing with a partner to plan ahead and try and get them to play certain cards, so that when it comes around to your turn, that you throw the card that will win the hand. So it's a game of deceit and strategy, which is very interesting. So anyway, we'll provide a link. You can read the rules online, and you can actually turn a regular deck of cards into a Briscola deck and try it out for yourself. Anyway, those are my 2 games.
Thank you.
Juice Newton is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but PJ Harvey is not. Oh, sorry guys, last week's script. Sorry about that. But this week we're doing. Really? Okay, I didn't get much of a chance to prepare for this, but I will do the best I can. Hello, my name is Rodney Anonymous, and I enjoy playing war games. If you would like to play war games, the first thing that you're going to need are some rule books. Here are a few of my favorites. This is Field of Glory. Look how wonderfully illustrated this is. Here we go. Find some troop movements. There you go. Really detailed, really nice, and it'll really really get you excited to playing. But also when I opened this book, I found a CD cover for a Dan Haggerty album I didn't know existed called Dan Haggerty's Straight Talk for Young People About Chlamydia. I was really excited about finding that in there. And that was like marking like the Battle of Kadesh. So this is really good, but it's a little complex. This is also a really good one. This is Warhammer. You might know them from some other stuff, but this is the Warhammer Ancient Battles. And again, it's really well laid out. And a lot of these have things in them for like, if you're here, in this case, if you're attacking with an elephant, the directions that you can hit. And also sometimes we'll have stuff in it, like if you're attacking with a ballista, how many troops that bolt will go through. So you're getting to get the idea about why I enjoy this. This is my favorite of the war game manuals that I have, or rule books. This is called Hail Caesar. And I like this because it takes a lighter attitude. Sometimes I would go to wargaming conventions and some of the people would be just total jackasses. They would start complaining, saying like, that soldier's got brass buttons on and you should be disqualified, or Mr. Games Master, fine him 50 points. And this is just the idea of just people getting together, drinking beer and having fun. And again, it is really, really a well put together book. Now, because these books are well put together, they are a little expensive. I think the cheapest one that I've just pulled out of this pile cost me about $45. So be prepared. You're going to pay real money, although you can find a lot of instructions online for free. If you're like me and you enjoy playing ancient warfare games, what you're also going to do is you're going to want to read a book like this, The Ancient World at War. This is great. It's really good, but it goes into all the different weapons, and it helps you understand things like a pilum. A pilum is a Roman spear that you throw at barbarians, and it sticks in their shield and bends, so they can't throw it back at you. And this is often, it's covered in all the war game books I showed you, the rules for using pilum and their defensive numbers going down because they have to throw their shields down is really interesting. So that's what you're going to need. Now, the rule books also cover basing and setting up your miniatures. Did I say miniatures? Yes, I did. Let's talk about those now. Like I say, I'm sorry I didn't have time to prepare. Here we have some Romans, and these guys are kind of heavy because they are made of metal. He's made of liquid metal. And here we have some lighter Celts. Yes, these beer-swilling assholes are my ancestors. So that you can get a better look, we have prepared a series of slides. So let's go. Slide 1 is of a Celtic war band. Again, unwashed, drunken idiots who somehow lead to people like me and Dan, because these would be our ancestors. Up next, slide 2, these are druids. And the guy with the antlers is hanging dong. And that's why I had to put a little black square there to cover up his junk. Slide 3, well, now we're looking at Roman and Celtic command units. And then let's move on now to slide 4. And that is Roman legionary and auxiliary cavalry troops. The reason I like playing as the Romans, which is what I normally play as, is because I love a lot of the auxiliary troops. The Romans didn't care about your race or religion. As long as you could effectively kill people, you could work with a Roman army. So I really like them. Hang on. You are libtard fool if you think Roman army was woke, says commenter, jerking 2 pics of 45. Well, jerking, I'm not saying that they're woke in the modern, speech or prevalence, but what I'm saying is that they were incredibly diverse. The Roman army would employ light horsemen from Numidia, which is in northern Africa. They would also employ slingers from the Balearic Islands, which are just off Spain. And then they would, my favorite troops are the Syrian archers that they would employ. In fact, let's go to slide 6 now. And slide 6 shows some Syrian archers. These are ones that I own, one of my unit troops, like the other stuff I've been showing you. But I always take a lot of these when I would play in tournaments and play those games because they always come in handy. Did you know that Syrian archers were deployed as far north as Hadrian's Wall? Yep. Oh, here's another comment. Build that wall, says commenter Hard for Tucker C69. Well, Hard for, I just want to say the Hadrian's Wall actually may have contributed to the downfall of Rome because it was very expensive. Let's go back to talking about gaming. Now, some of you have been looking at these tiny soldiers. Here we go. And saying they're tiny, but they're not tiny enough for me. These are 28 millimeter soldiers. We also have over here, these are some 15 millimeter soldiers. So let's go right now to the slides, because I want to show you, this will blow your mind. Slide number 7 are some early Imperial Romans, and I have 2 pennies in the photo for scale. So yeah, I painted these things. And yeah, it is a little maddening to do. It's a little easier. Let's go over to the next one, which is slide number 8. And these are some ancient Britons. And I have a box of them here that I never finished. And that's why you see so few ancient Britons in the photo here with the pennies. The ancient Britons, or any sort of barbarian troop, unlike Roman soldiers where you're painting a bunch of them because let's all paint the chainmail on these or the plate mail on these guys. Now, they're all wearing the same sort of uniform, so you can paint a bunch at once. But these suckers, you got to paint them individually. By the way, here's a Valeric slinger that I never finished. Oh, there we go. There's some things that Dan has that I painted a while back.
A while ago, yeah.
Yeah, when I was doing the plastic ones. Yeah, this is a Valeric slinger. I never finished painting a lot of these because seriously, who has time for this shit? But if you want to, you can buy like whole bands of plastic Celt warriors. And I just want to show you something else. One more slide here. This is slide number 9, and these are Roman war machines. And I took this shot because I had 1 shot left on the roll of film, and Photomat was closing in an hour. So I just want to say that in conclusion, I, Rodney Anonymous, would recommend wargaming to anyone who isn't an incompetent pussy wimp like Vlad Putin. And tell your friends that you heard about it here first on Roller Derby. And comment, wow, Rodney, that was informative and entertaining. You are my favorite member of the Dead Milkmen. And that is from commenter, Totally Not Rodney Anon. Well, thank you, Totally Not Rodney Anon.
Thank you for that enlightening presentation. These are exciting games, and I would like to play each one of them someday.
I'm thinking about trying to combine Risk and these war games that Rodney's talking about. It's like Risk times, I don't know, 50.
When I was playing at the gatherings and all, I often found that the most macho individual was the worst at wargaming. And I thought, God, I hope I never have to face a bunch of women who work at NPR or something because I'll get slaughtered.
How long would you guys play? Like, how long did you play when you would do that?
I played games. I actually, with the Romans, one of the things I did was fun was Romans versus zombies, which takes place, in the ancient Romans fighting zombies. I played almost like a Battle of Kadash. I played in the huge Egyptian versus Sea people and some other groups, maybe Assyrians, and that had to go on for 4 or 5 hours, and I was drinking heavily during all of it.
I play Risk for 4 or 5 hours and just terrorize my children.
Do they play with your opponents?
Yeah. Whether they like it or not.
I used to like to play Risk many years ago. A friend of mine invented a variation called nuclear Risk, which
where you burn the match.
You'd light a match. It would happen, I think, after 3 doubles were rolled in a row. I forget the exact. Maybe it's 2 doubles in a row or something. Something in a battle. If that happened, then it meant a nuclear bomb was used or something. And then you would light a match, blow it out, and put it on the territory. And then you would immediately lose half of everybody's army. But if you wanted to go through the territory in the future, you would lose a percentage of your armies.
Yeah, the guys in Pod used to play it that way back in like the 80s and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the 80s.
Cool. Yeah, we make up our own rules too. Like
so maybe he did. Maybe it wasn't original to him, but he introduced it to me. Anyway, recommendations.
You do a
if we have time.
Finally, yeah.
I'm going to recommend a movie that you can watch in theaters right now called the Bob's Burger movie. And it's based on the TV show. And if you don't know, that's an animated show. And it's an animated musical comedy. about the Belcher family the Belchers own a burger shop that's almost always in trouble of going out of business. It's been doing that for about 12 seasons now. And nobody grows up. It's sort of like The Simpsons. Nobody grows up. Everybody's the same age. But the movie, I think, especially if you like the show, you'll enjoy it. It's a pretty good adventure. Things are like a big budget movie, action comedy ensues, and ridiculous plots or ridiculous, absurd adventures.
Is it also streaming on any services?
Probably someday, but right now it's in theaters.
Cool.
Where you can get good air conditioning.
In some places, beer too.
Yes, some places beer, and some select theaters will also have a special burger.
I thought you were going to say marijuana. Sorry.
I don't know. Not in
In the
Pennsylvania.
States, you might get marijuana. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what the recreational marijuana states do with movie theaters these days.
I don't think you can smoke anything in a movie theater,
No.
or you shouldn't either.
Gummies.
John Fetterman says it should be legal, but Dr. Oz says it'll drive you out of your mind.
I would like to recommend anybody in the Bucks County area or thereabouts, stop by the QMart, Saturday and Sunday. Find us, and whatever number of people I'm with just me or 2 or 3. We'll be selling. We just moved, so we got a bunch of stuff, books and records and electronics and toys and stuff. And whatever we don't sell is getting donated. So you better buy the stuff, because God forbid we donate to some people that need it.
Oh,
I'm done.
My recommendation this week is a YouTube video, actually a few videos by the fellow named Lookma No Computer. Sam is a wonderful, intelligent, insane individual who has a museum actually that I want to go to someday. I believe it's in Margate in England, which is not too far from the place that I used to live. His new video series, he bought a pipe organ. It's absolutely insane.
That was in a house.
Yeah, well, now here's what happened. So it was advertised like a year ago. There was a woman who was like 95 years old. She used to be the church organist at her local church. And the church, I guess, was sold. It was deconsecrated or whatever. And her husband, who just loved his wife, took the church organ out of the church and installed it in their house. And they live in a tiny English row house. And so this was put on like eBay like a year or so ago. It's in Brighton, England, or near Brighton. And it was listed for a while. And then Sam from AKA Lookma No Computer, he decided to buy this, and he won the bid or whatever. And the first video is him going down to this house and showing you the installation of this pipe organ in this house. It's insane. And he and his buddies, they rented a box truck and they rip everything out of this house. At one point, he's hacksawing all the electric wires that connect all the little servo motors and stuff that control the airflow. And they're just throwing everything in their van, and then they go back. And the second video that he's posted so far, he actually has it working already in his museum. It's absolutely incredible. So you got to check this out. It's Lookma No Computer, and we'll provide a link to the episodes. It's absolutely crazy. So
What Dean isn't telling you, because he probably frightened you to death, is that when it was in the house, it was the woman would sit on this half landing and play the pipe organ, and her husband would stand one half landing below and play the trombone. And that was Sunday morning for them. So yeah, that's nightmare material.
their neighbors put up with a lot, I think.
I've got about 5 minutes to do mine, so let me go quickly. I'm going to be recommending 2 concerts that will be taking place in the beautiful city of Philadelphia this week. The first is on Tuesday, June 7th, and it is at Silk City, and it's White Ring, Bestial Mouths,
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
See you next week, I guess.
Piss off.
Yeah, the pipe organ video is just insane.
Did you see the one where he couldn't figure stuff out? He filmed on his phone. And he was like, "You're an idiot." People, if you've never seen Sam, Sam makes me look laid back and relaxed. He is. And I love super hyper people. And the first time I came across him, I was like, "Oh my God, kindred spirit."
All right.
All right. See ya.
Yeah.
Heinrich.